Okay, so we're going to practice some of our strumming, and we may as well use our week 1 chords to practice that strumming so it sounds a little bit nicer than just the strings that don't go together or the notes that don't go together. So if we start with that, let's start and remember our first chord that we learned, that's C7. That's your first finger on the first fret of the first string, a 1, 1, 1. And then the second chord we learned was the F chord. That's our first finger on the first fret of the second string and our second finger on the second fret of the fourth string. Notice how we use our first finger on the first fret a lot of the times, our second finger on the second fret. You'll find that happens a lot, especially with chords that only take 1 or 2 fingers, but it's not always the case. But a lot of times it is, which is why we have our fingering exercise. Okay, so that's F. And I'm just thumb strumming. And then back to C. So let's try doing that and counting. Let's try some 4/4 strumming. Okay, so we're just going to count to 4. That's each measure is 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll strum on the first beat of each measure, and we'll start with C7, then we'll go to F, then we'll go back. Okay, so C7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The idea is to get used to switching between the two, and see how I don't move my hand all that much. I'm kind of ready to go between them. So watch how I switch between the C7 and the F. I'm just going to sort of slide my finger up to the next string because I'm using the same fret, and then lay my middle finger down. Okay, so watch my hand here at this end as I move between the two. And again, start slow and get comfortable with switching between the two. And that's the way you'll get to be able to play songs, is when you can move between the two chords without having too much time to do it, or wasting too much time doing it. Okay, so let's try that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm kind of trying to keep these two fingers out of the way so that you can see what I'm doing. But in reality, you should try to keep your fingers all kind of over the fretboard so that they're ready to go into action anytime. And as you learn more complicated chords, you will be able to get to them more quickly. Okay, so let's try first a 4/4 beat, and then we'll do a 3/4 beat after that. So we'll do a few of those for you to practice along with. So C7 to start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's try a 3/4 beat, because a lot of slower songs or waltzes or things like that are in that slower beat. So let's try a 3/4, and we're just counting to 3 instead of counting to 4. Okay, so start with the C7 again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now we can also try a different strum. So we've been using our thumb, and you remember in class we learned about using your finger. And you can use your index finger and just go. You can do it very lightly, or you can do it very strongly, depending upon what kind of song you're playing or how enthusiastic you feel. It's harder to do that with your thumb. You can go up and down with your thumb too, but it's harder to do. So if you want to do some actiony song, pretty much have to use that finger. Okay, so that's why we're going to start doing a little bit with that. So let's try it just down, up with that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm just going back and forth between C7 and F, C7 and F. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm gonna move up a little closer here so you can see what I'm doing with my strumming hand. Okay, watch this. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what happens when we want to go 3, 4? That's a little different. We have a couple of choices. We can go 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So always start on the down. So that means sometimes we have a couple in a row. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now look, notice how I'm lifting my hand up and bring it back to start to go down again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Or I can just keep going in order. 1, 2, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So sometimes my 1 is a downstroke and sometimes it's an upstroke. You should practice both. It depends upon the song you're playing. Lots of times you do want to do 2 downs in a row. And so it's good to practice that, okay? Okay, bye for now.